Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience as we worked out some technical difficulties. I see we have a few gentlemen in the chat named Paul Murady. Great to see you, Mr. Paul Murady. Great job. You may even want to change your name to Paul Murady, just because, moving along. So just want to say what's up to everybody that's already here. Angry Sarge, brother, thank you. Come on, PLA, thank you for being here. P38, Double X, print sheet. Thank you for coming. Robert Ribbit, Sport Brand. Robert Ribbit, channel member. Come on, PLA, channel member. What up, word up, doggy? He says. Night Custom Builds. Fancy. Zach, what up? And CNT Designs, Opie, good job. CNT Designs, and I saw CNT Designs already got that ish shipped out, which I am stoked about. I'm gonna have a big old DLD piece of steel in the bake. It's gonna be awesome. Opie, what up? Joe Morris, great to see all you guys. I want to ride, so creative. Toy Town Inc. I see we've already gotten into a PWEDC conversation, which is great. And guys, tonight, Civinity Guitars, what's up, man? I got to shout you out too. The Darkest DLD. So tonight we have a very special individual. And if you had already seen PWE Firearms, what up? Why aren't you at the Gundies picking up your prize? I was an honorable mention in Breakout Creator, and then they realized that I only have 2,800 subscribers. No, I actually thought it was a joke that I was actually like in one of the categories for the Gundies because I don't know if you guys saw like Flying Rich and Crump were going in and they were putting like they were editing code and putting themselves in like the Breakout Creator of the Year and stuff like that. And I thought that DLD After Dark being in there was like a joke. I thought they went in and typed in DLD After Dark, but I was actually in the Gundies for like Breakout Creator of the Year. I just didn't want to come in here and be like, guys, like vote for me, like, like come on, like just like let it touch the back of your throat. But I appreciate you guys. Anyway, we got a baller ass guest tonight. If you guys didn't see the intro video, good golly, Miss Molly. Let me show you one more time. What's up, JC9? Congrats on that nominations. Thank you, man. Thank you. I cannot wait to like with lotioned hands jerk off Leviathan and just all those incredible people out there. So let's go ahead and show one more time. If you'll see the top left, it says 3D Arms with my terrible Boston accent. Here you go.
Remember, kids, the first rule of gun safety.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you got that right. He is using his penis for recoil absorption. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So as you guys know, when we have special guests on here, I like to make fun videos. What's up, Jim? YouTube keeps deleting my FAP compilations recommendation. Thank you, Gertrude. Jesus. Invader Zip. Oh my God, Invader Zip, y'all. What's up, brother? So we're going to go ahead and jump into 3D Arms, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome him. What's up?
What is up?
Dude.
Good to be here.
Man, it's incredible to have you here. I know I actually, funny enough, confused the date the other day. I was like, dude, I'm running a few minutes behind. You're like, it's Saturday.
You're actually running a few days early.
Yeah, that's right. So so I'm not running behind tonight, guys. I was early. Just gonna say several days. But 3D Arms, man, introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, what you do, and that you like to, use your pubic bone as a recoil absorption device.
Nature's hydraulic buffer, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, so my name's Corey, and I refer to myself as 3D Arms. I've been doing 3D printing like forever, like since before 3D printed guns were a thing, like before the Liberator or any of that. But I didn't start printing guns until I don't know, it was maybe like 2016, something like that. I printed like a couple wash bears, and eventually I started playing with designing. And it was really hard at first, but it gets easier. So if you're thinking about it, like stick it out the first like 10 hours of man, this nothing works, it sucks. It gets way better. And then I decided one day, why don't I make a FGC 9, but scaled up to be a 12 gauge? And I knew there was going to be a lot of things that just weren't going to work, or were going to be like meme tier, gigantic and crazy.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to do it.
Dang.
I don't know why no one else has done it. I'm going to do it. And as that design went on, hit some snags, I was like, man, I really want to like release something. And so I was like, what if I were to do like a 50 BMG lower for one of these like bolt action 50 BMG uppers? So I was like, I know I can do that. Like the 12 gauge, like that crap's hard. But I was like, I know I can make a lower for a 50 BMG upper. And so that's how I got started, really. I posted that, and people were like, whoa.
Dude, it's nuts. I couldn't believe it when I first saw it. Like, I had to rewatch it over and over. I was honestly blown away because, like, just simply looking at, like, so a 9mm, right? Like, we got to give it to, like, Jay Stark and, like, some of the homies that have just done, like, some incredible shit. Like, even a 9mm is, like, 35,000 PSI for, like, Winchester freaking white box, And that bad boy you got right there in your hand, I don't even know. What is it, like 95,000 PSI or something?
I think that's about what it is.
That's nuts. Almost 100,000. Let me make you big. Let me just enlarge you. Damn.
Yeah, look at them boys.
Wow.
If you take the bullet out of this thing, you could probably drop a couple 9mm inside of it.
For real. Yeah.
Damn. I wouldn't shoot this from my pubic bone. The recoil is monster.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much recoil. I'm like trying to just push through as many rounds as I can now to like prove safety.
Yeah.
And one day, like a month or so ago, I went out to the range and I brought 100 rounds with me. And I was like, I'm going to go through all of them. Or if the gun breaks, then, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I had like a rubber pad on there to make it not so bad. Like one of those limb savers. I made it through 40 rounds and I was dying.
Really?
Like my shoulder hurt for 2 weeks. Like,
damn.
Like literally 2 weeks later, I feel my shoulder. I'm like, oh man, it's still bruised.
Wow.
So now I put 2 recoil pads on. It's not bad.
That's crazy. Civinity Guitars says, 3D Arms, I'm getting to that point of making something.
All right.
That's
dude,
awesome.
I'm stoked to see it.
How heavy is 100 rounds? Oof.
Oh, dude. It's pretty heavy, actually. Carrying that like container around kind of sucks. In one of my videos, I have 100 rounds and belts over my shoulders, and like it kind of hurts.
Dude, I got a belted, I think it's 250 rounds of 308, and that shit is like, I mean, I can't, like, I feel like I need like a small crew to to lift that shit.
Wrap that around and look so cool.
Yeah, 40 rounds of 50. Yeah, that's intense. My limit is 10 before it's not fun anymore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And come out in PLA. He's
that's about where it became not fun.
I could imagine the first 2 to 3 you're like, wow. Then from there it only gets better. So you sent a couple of things which I tried to like pull it and download it. Were they just still shots, or were they animated?
So the things I sent on Instagram, those were still shots, and then there was an unlisted YouTube video I sent.
Okay. Let me see.
But most of them are just still shots.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I was like, it's not doing anything when I click on it.
Yeah, like I have some like props so I can like show people like what things actually are,
Yeah,
and like how
yeah.
it works.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
cannot wait to get into that. And that, so just to make sure that everyone is, like has complete clarity on what we're talking about here. So 3D Arms has designed from the ground up, right?
Mhm.
So designed from the ground up, number one, a lower receiver that can be used with the 50 BMG, 50 BMG, not 50 Beowulf, not 50 Action Express, not 50 muzzle loader, 50 motherfucking BMG uppers that you usually see, like the SHTF 50, or what was the other one that you were running, or if you want to talk about that. Oh, did we freeze him? I think we froze him. Maybe we can wake him up by using this video here.
Remember, kids, the first rule of gun safety is to always have fun.
So that's one of the other things that he designed.
Sorry, my internet's being
No, it's okay.
big gay.
It's all good. Freaking gay. Whatever way we need to do it to keep you on here, man. That's all we care about. He said he's sleeping. Just to say what's up to a few more that came in here. Dark, he needs to get with Serbu. Yeah, actually, I could definitely introduce. I was lucky enough to meet Mark Serbu. I mean, we're not like besties or anything, but Safety Harbor. I can introduce him to Safety Harbor as well. Maybe they could donate an SHTF 50. Let's see. So, DB Cooper, what's up, brother? Okay. 50 BMG is only 55,000 psi chamber pressure. That's all.
There we go. Internet's back. That was on
Nice.
my phone. I'll just switch to my phone if I have to.
Yeah, it's totally fine. JC9 says 50 Thumper. Yeah, so 50 Thumper is a cartridge most people don't know about. 50 Thumper is a design from Richard Hoffman of BWB Firearms, where he took a 300 Winchester Magnum cartridge and he took a 50 BMG round and has it running at about 1,000 feet per second. And it is effing devastating. And really quickly, Riff Raff, Giraffe, Thirsty Colt, DB Cooper, JC9, Martin Kaminsky.
Riff Raff.
Oh, is that one of your peoples?
Yeah, I know him.
What
I know a lot
up?
of those other people too. I just didn't mention anything.
Oh, nice. Jeff Cron says he's in deep thought. It's funny, it kind of froze with you like that. Judas Priest 666. Welcome. I print shit. I feel like I know you from somewhere.
He's beta testing the 50 with me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, dude, he's cool.
Talk about the 12 gauge a little bit too, and really quickly before you start on that, just while you guys know, if any super chats do come through, we will not show video of Alec Baldwin murdering tonight. We'll just show 3D Arms shooting from his penis.
Alec Baldwin likes it too much. We decided it was unethical.
Yeah, we were getting all this like positive, feedback, and it was weird. So. Yeah, so talk about your no, come back to me.
Oh,
yes, okay, you're back.
Oh man, freaking.
Well, your
internet.
audio's back. Oh,
okay, I can see myself.
There you go. Okay, you're back.
So this is the version 2 bolt, And what's kind of special about the design? So this looks a lot like an FGC 9 bolt, but
Yep.
a couple things you'll notice. We got these little divots back here.
Mhm.
What that is some skateboard bearings sit in here, and they're pressed in real tight with some springs, actually under 3 springs.
Oh, nice.
And so basically what happens is this gun wants to be in battery, wants to be in the forward position. And to move it out of those little divots, so there's this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be sitting like right around here. Move it out of those divots. The amount of force that takes, you can tune it. It's based on how deep the divots are, how strong the springs are. I have it tuned to be about 30 pounds. And the reason I don't do more is because it gets really hard to charge the charging handle if it's more than that.
Yeah.
And so that first like half inch of motion takes a ton of force. So when the round goes off, it has a real hard time doing that first little bit, and then moves just normal.
Gotcha.
I do use multiple different springs in the back, so it actually goes fairly quickly until ejection, and then another spring kicks in to like really slam on the brakes so it doesn't have a ton of recoil.
Wow.
And that's actually why I can do. So it has like a 3-stage recoil pattern, and that's why I can shoot it from the penis
From compromising
because there's
positions.
no recoil.
That's
Like,
crazy.
It's amazing.
Dude,
Obviously, there is recoil, but there's not much recoil. It's like it feels like a push.
that's nuts, man.
It's super cool.
That is like some Chris Vector level shit right there, dude.
A lot of the things were just like, I wonder if this will work, but I don't really think it will, and then it does, or a bunch of ideas that I scrapped that didn't work.
Yeah.
So this is, as far as I know, the first delayed blowback mechanism for 3D printed firearms. I thought it was the second, but it turns out the other one is like a recoil mitigation thing, which is also super cool. Just to say.
Yeah, for sure.
But delayed blowback, I'm like, dude, that's cool.
Oh yeah, Opie, that's an excellent point. The issue with 50 isn't chamber pressure; it's bolt thrust. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So 50 BMG is a monster of a round, and so that's why I picked an off-the-shelf upper, because that upper's already been tested to be able to handle everything 50 can throw at it. Mm-hmm. And so really when I designed that lower, it just had to be able to handle the recoil exactly like your shoulder would handle the recoil.
Yeah. Or your penis.
Yeah, or your penis.
Yeah.
The best recoil mitigation device.
Of course.
And so
Nature's hydraulic.
Nature's hydraulic buffer. It is hydraulic. It really is.
It is. It's designed for it, literally.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't find the I went back through. I can't find the private video. If you want to shoot that one more time, either on Instagram or to the email, I'll make sure we pull that up as well, because it just like seeing this shit is nuts, man. It's next level shit. The peeps need to see it.
What's this video?
You had said that you had sent a there's a private YouTube video. Yeah. And no rush too, just whenever you get a chance. So yeah, sorry, we kind of toggled back and forth from the 12 gauge and the 50, but the 12 gauge was like quite literally designed from a ridiculously scaled up FGC 9.
Yeah. Like I didn't use like the CAD files, but I took like stylistically.
Yeah.
And also like so the thing that makes the FGC 9 special, at least in my opinion, is that it can be made in any country in the world, more or less.
Yeah.
And so we have a decent amount of freedom here in the States. Could be better, but it's better than most places.
For sure.
And all these other places that have, in terms of firearms, almost no freedom, they can now get an FGC 9. And so to me, that was what was like so special about it. So I
Yeah.
wanted to do that, but in 12 gauge, because 12 gauge is also a round that's available in a lot of other countries.
Yep.
Honestly, you're gonna have a hard time getting it, like you'd have a hard time getting 9, but it exists over there.
You also don't need to like ECM a barrel. You could have
Yeah.
a cylinder bore barrel.
Uh-huh.
It kind of adds a level of simplicity to
Yeah,
to it.
because that's the hardest part of the FGC 9 build. And it's not that it's hard, it's like it's intimidating. Like if you see like, oh, like electrochemical machine, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Even though like if you sit down, you can. Like it's not as intense as it sounds, but like it's a barrier to entry for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a little more inviting. Like, I mean, how many people? Well, this may sound weird, but how many people have just made a pipe shotgun? It's
Yeah, tons. You go on
yeah.
YouTube from like before 3D printed guns.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a little. I think it's a little more inviting with 12 gauge because it adds a layer of simplicity to it. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, I was using a 3/4 inch pipe, and in my final version, I'll have one that accepts 3/4 inch pipe. I've actually switched to there's like these standard tube sizes for like weldless tube, and so it's smooth on the inside. So I've switched to that. They're supposedly a lot stronger, although I shot slugs out of the 3/4 inch and it was fine.
Really?
But this is supposedly stronger, and also it's really smooth, and so extraction, ejection is going to be a lot easier.
Gotcha.
And that was like a big, that was one of the big issues that the 12 gauge presents that 9mm doesn't. So there are tons of simple blowback 9mm firearms where you don't need an extractor to grab the rim of that casing. Like the FGC 9, there is no extractor. There's an ejector that swats it out.
Yeah.
You don't need an extractor. It's better to have one, but you don't need it. I had some help from somebody I met in some YouTube comments. I forget his name or I'd mention it. I'm sorry, no man. And he helped me with, because I was working on this extractor here and it wasn't working. This guy helped me figure it out. But it's a piece of sheet metal that you just bend and you take a Dremel to it to give it the shape of a 12 gauge cartridge. And then initially I was working on it and it wasn't working. I realized you have to have something for it to go up against to hold the shell tight. And so this is the shell in the extractor right now. And like, let me just hold it. I hope it doesn't fall because it is above my recoil buffer.
Yeah.
But like it holds it pretty strong. Like you can like pull it off, but it holds it pretty tight.
Dang.
But then if you push in the direction that your ejector is going to push, like nothing. Super easy.
Nice.
So this is working pretty well. Do you not have the YouTube video? I can send that to you.
I do not. I double checked it.
Let me.
Yeah, that's I mean, mind blowing to think that like what you're running PLA plus in that lower and PLA plus
actually,
12 gauge.
As a like, my thought process was I want the final product to be PLA plus, so I'm going to do everything in something weaker. So I'm using the crappiest PLA money can buy.
What?
This is $8 a roll garbage PLA.
What?
And I've done some tests with it. It's way weaker than PLA plus. And the reason I'm using that is if it can handle with this, and that's what this green stuff is, it'll do great with PLA plus.
For sure.
So the final product will be PLA plus, but I'm doing prototyping with much wussier plastic.
Damn, that's actually a great idea because I mean that gives hope to if you can tweak it and make it run in really shitty and $8 a roll PLA, the PLA plus is gonna take it like a champ.
It'll be a breeze. Yeah,
Hell
nothing to worry about at all.
And anybody can make that shit with anything, and that's what this is all about, right? Like just a lot of people say can't stop the signal, but Invader
There
Zip
has to be a
actually.
signal to stop. And so like we have to make a signal. It's not a passive process.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like if we make a signal, it won't be stopped.
It was said beautifully when Invader Zip says, I feel like can't stop the signal is looking at it from a negative mindset. He said, I like to say, we need to just boost the signal. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, that's a good way to
I
look
agree
at
with that
it.
100%.
Yeah, man.
He's a cool dude. His art design is super awesome.
Oh my
Uh,
God, yeah. Having him on was incredible too. And it's funny because like we, just happen to have like, all these like the goats of like 3D printing design and all that. And by the way, as I pull this up here, so did you start like in like Tinkercad or like where did you
there's some like Microsoft program. It's like 3D viewer.
Okay.
That was the first thing I ever used. And all you could do was like cut. And I think that was about it. The very first project I ever did, this was like years and years ago.
Mhm.
I found an AR upper on Thingiverse,
Okay.
and I took it, I printed it. The external dimensions were accurate, the internal dimensions were not at all.
Mm.
So I edited it. And at this point, this is when I first started using like actual CAD programs, Fusion. And it took me like 20 hours to do something that would take me 5 minutes now.
Jeez.
And I made a 3D printed 22 upper. And one of them's like the A2 version, one of them's the flat top. And I published those on Keybase, like, I don't know, back when that was new.
Okay.
Um,
Is that
but
hold
not
on?
many people made it.
Was that what PSR was shooting in that pink
I
22?
think his was Vin Wynn's design.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The later 22 designs are better than the one I did. My one worked. Actually, I can show an upper on stream. Let me go grab it.
Yeah.
One sec.
Yep. And I'm gonna pull up that video while we do this. And why not? I'll show it one more time.
Remember, kids, the first rule of gun safety.
Oh, it never gets old. It's great. I love it.
Dude, I love that video.
And you actually took a lot from PSR. Well, we'll get back on the editing
Yeah.
thing.
PSR definitely. I need to practice a lot more, but like watching his things and watching his video on like how to edit, I'm like, man, this is like what I need.
Yeah,
I'll
give you a good resource after we wrap up the stream. We'll have a quick chat. I'll give you a good resource to check out too.
Dope. This is the first thing I ever designed. It's a 22 upper, and I found a charging handle that also had the dimensions that were not right at all, and edited it. So these are both really remixes.
Yeah.
And you can see my barrel nut is. It wouldn't look like that if I did it today. This was like years ago.
Yeah.
But it worked, and like I'd run. I had like 4 mags at the time, and so 100 rounds. I'd run all 4 like as fast as I could pull the trigger, and the heat wasn't an issue. And I was like, "This is so cool."
Really?
And honestly, you can do that with any of the 22 ones, unless you're using the printed barrel with a liner. Got to be a little more careful if you're using PLA.
Yeah.
So now I've done a few more 22 builds using other people's designs, which are better. But when I do the barrel like that, I print it in nylon for just the barrel. And I got my meme 4:16 scope on here because I thought it was hilarious on a 4-inch barrel.
That's
the scope
crazy.
goes further than the barrel.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. And that as is completely functioning, right?
Yeah, it works great. I probably have like 1,000-ish rounds through it. It's really fun to shoot because it's so stupid. Like it's so silly.
Dude, that's nuts, man. I think a lot of people sleep on the here, let me change this here. A lot of people sleep on the advancement of 3D printing, and the moment people hear 3D printed upper and 3D printed barrel nut, they're like, "Oh, I mean, I don't know about that." But I mean, with 22 LR, that's absolutely
Actually, I'm getting us off topic all the time, but
that's okay. That's okay.
there's a guy, Proto Firearms. You can find him on YouTube. He's got a few videos. He has a printed upper for 5.56. It's a pain to take it off the lower. I've printed 2 of them, and they work.
Really
I'm gonna do a video on them, hopefully soonish. But for those of you in the chat, after this, search Proto Firearms on YouTube. You'll find some cool stuff.
nice.
He has heat issues, but it works. And I actually haven't been having nearly as bad of heat issues as he's been having. And so I'm like, maybe it's just colder where I am, but
This is a good question, Jeff Cron, and that's super dope, by the way. Jeff Cron, this is a good question. Feel free to.
yeah.
explain.
So what is delayed blowback? So if you were to take, when the round goes off, the amount of force going forwards or the amount of momentum going forwards is the same as the amount of momentum going backwards. And what that ends up meaning is your bullet goes super fast, but your case is also trying to push out the back. And so if it's just relying on the weight of the slide or the weight of the bolt, it's going to start moving immediately and start moving fairly quickly. And so your bolt has to be heavy enough that by the time the casing has left the chamber a little bit, pressures aren't too high. Because if you were to fire a 22 outside of a chamber, it would just, the brass would explode. So it has to slow it down enough if you have a delayed blowback. So like MP5 is roller delayed. I'm kind of trying to think of a name for what to name mine. I'm thinking maybe bearing delay. I've been calling it roller-ish delay, but it functions different. A delay is something that increases the amount of force that first little bit takes to move. But it doesn't do it for the whole time. So if you had like a really strong spring or something, or just a really heavy bolt, that would affect it over the whole travel. Spring's obviously not linear. The bolt weight would be.
Yeah.
But a delayed blowback only affects that first little bit. So you can have a lighter weight bolt and still get, like, from the point of view of the shell, it's as if the bolt was a lot heavier than it is, but only for that first little bit.
Yeah, and really, if you look at even an AR and an AK, right? The bolt rotates into the chamber. There's that, the round goes off. There's that, very, very brief moment where it rolls, back out and then starts to travel rearward.
Exactly.
It's just that very slight. Actually, this was a really good way. Jim says it's straight blowback with something delaying it.
Yeah, like an AR or any of your locked chamber type firearms, it's from the point of view of the shell, it's as if the bolt had infinite weight, but just for a little bit of time, just like a millisecond. I don't know if it's a millisecond, 2 milliseconds, but tiny amount of time until, the gas goes through the tube and unlocks it. But with roller delayed, instead of it being as if it was an infinite weight bolt, it's as if the bolt weighed, 2-3 times what it does, for just that little bit of time.
Yeah. And Night Custom Build says, bingo. Bingo. Build it, load, send it, let's go. Oh, I thought bingo was like you had a funny acronym for bingo, but
Build it, load it, send it.
It could be a song. We could do that.
Yeah. PSR could make it a song.
Oh my
PSR
God,
can make a
yes.
lot of things a song.
Dude, he is the song man. And
Man, he's fun.
you got to respect for the fact that he's using Fruity Loops, which is like I used a free version of Fruity Loops when I was making music from like the age of like 17 to like 25. And it's like the lowest tier. It's Tinkercad for music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never used Fruity Loops, but one of my brothers used it when I was a kid, back when I knew nothing about music. And yeah, I was just like, "Whoa, this is so cool."
Oh, dude, it's so like an MP7 and 22 mag. That's an interesting concept.
Hmm.
It's a good
Yeah,
idea. I always thought an MP7 and 5.7 would be pretty
yeah,
good.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
MP7 and 5.7. I'm like, just stop with the 4.6. Give us an MP7 and 5.7.
yeah,
The
like
routes are so close.
I know, like why even do it? You know, it's a 4.6. Now, I don't know. 4.6 may be some magical unicorn shit that I just don't know about.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't have enough. If it can punch through plates and stuff, and some major manufacturers start, pumping it out.
One thing about it, so CMMG, they make the radial delayed for 5.7, but
Yep.
when they made their one for 4.6 just recently, they didn't use radial delayed. They used this like super short gas system. And I assume if they could have done radial delayed, they would have. And so
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. So maybe there is like a enough of a difference between them, but I definitely
Interesting.
don't understand it.
Yeah, that's a really
Just what I'm seeing CMMG do.
yeah.
Obviously, they know more than any of us, and HK probably knows more than them.
They are absolutely light years beyond me. I'm like,
Dude, they're
so
innovative. I
yeah,
wish they could get product out faster, but I respect what they do. Even the weird stuff, like it's impressive.
yeah. I mean, even what's up, Lunatic? Good to see you, man. Heath, all you guys. I'm sorry, those that I didn't get to say hello to. You know, I love y'all. Jeff Cron, what up? Um, yeah, Jay Duffy. It's interesting. Like a lot of people shit on Keltec, and I got nothing but love and respect for Keltec and um, George Kel, the guy that
Yeah,
created the Grindle.
Mr. Keltec himself.
Yeah, Mr. CEO. Yeah, I think it's like George Grindle or something like that. Someone's gonna Google it, pretend that they know it,
Mhm.
and put it in chat, and then
Yep.
like pays me for it. That's okay. But I think they catch a lot of flack, mostly for having less superior firearms. But I don't believe that to be true. I've run a lot of their shit from like I used to carry PF9s. What's the other one? The double stack uh, P P.
I think they just came out with a new version of it at SHOT Show.
Yeah, and they actually
It
have
looks nice. I don't.
yeah.
I've never shot it, obviously.
It's beautiful looking. It's got they have an aluminum frame option. I think it's
Mhm.
aluminum. It may be steel, but they have a metal lower, which is dope. And I mean, these guys were using crazy like injection molded designs when polymer was like not that
Yeah,
popular.
they're
You know,
like anti-fuds, and
yeah,
maybe sometimes they go too far. They take risks, and not
yes.
every risk pans out, but some of them do. And like we need people to take risks like that.
Yeah, Serenity Guitar says, "Love Caltech. The Sub
Yeah.
2000 is so innovative and simple." Well, you guys know that I am, though Sport Brain created the blue Kim light. I am a lover of anything blue glowy is like my shit, and I have a blue Caltech Sub 2000 from the factory. It's blue, by the way. It is
Hmm.
the glowiest of sub 2000s. John Crump, what's up, brother?
My table right there, that little
Mhm.
guy you can barely see in the background,
Yep.
has glow in the dark blue epoxy in it. So
Nice. That is
yeah,
awesome. So that is like straight a
blue
DLD
glowy. It's a
table.
DLD table. Yeah,
Yes, I
I'll send
love
you a
it.
picture after the stream. It's pretty hot.
P11, that's what it is. Thank you. The P11 was their double stack 9 mil that was 10 plus 1, and they were Metgar magazines, which is like fucking awesome. And then they came out later with 12 plus 1 magazines and a 9 millimeter that was smaller than a Glock 26, and the trigger pull was only like 27 and a half pounds. So I mean, it was great.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the only guy who can shoot it.
The only one. I still haven't been able to fire mine.
I've heard stories about that trigger pull.
Oh God, it's the worst. It's like that was gun safety, like that trigger. It was
You don't
literally
even need a holster at that point.
no. I
Just
wore
put
it
it in
on
your pocket,
a
round in the chamber, no problem.
yeah. I just wore it on a necklace with it through the trigger guard.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah. No, but I mean, all jokes aside, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody may go, want to look this up, I'm pretty sure the factory manual says trigger pull 12 to 16 pounds. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's call it a very deliberate trigger pull. But the point is like you said, they were, definitely taking risks. They were putting themselves out there, and this goes back all the way to the original Grendel, which is
Mhm.
the what you guys know as the PMR 30 and CMR 30, which is the 30 plus 122 Magnum. The dude Grendel came out with in the 80s, and it wasn't functioning as reliably as, like, say, the PMR and CMR are currently. CMR are yeah, are currently, and they basically remixed it and redid it, and they're running shit like, I mean, it's mostly polymer shit. It's like the 5.7 they came out with. Like, yeah, I respect what they're doing. Their guns are good, and anyone that shits on Caltech, you're shitting on innovation. It's not American, and you should
Mhm.
leave and unsubscribe. Just kidding. Don't unsubscribe. Um, yeah, so I do have this video that you shot me over. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I'm gonna hide the thingamajigger, so because it is private, right?
I mean, at this point, if people want to see it, they can. If someone's going to put in that much effort to see it, like they can do it.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I initially just made it unlisted because it wasn't like aesthetically anything impressive. It was just like I wanted to show a couple people. But like if other people, I mean, it's going to be live here, so people can see it here if they want and
Yeah,
rewind the stream. So
that's
I'm
true.
good with whatever.
And don't forget to, as you watch it, hit the like button and
Yeah.
send this to your parents, your old babysitter, your
Especially
anyone.
the hot one.
Yes, you got one. There's always
Mm-hmm.
one. Hold on. So, and funny enough, while I pull this up,
She might have been your cousin, but hey,
hey, second cousin, twice removed.
I hope.
Yeah. So, oh man, I got a story about that, but I don't. Maybe another stream. Um, so, those videos where we're like, yeah, it's cool. I think some people may like it, but I'm just not really gonna, go out and post it. Every single one of those that I've said like fuck it and just pulled the trigger and posted it have done like remarkably well. Like I did this one.
They're the winners.
Oh my god, I did this one. I have an Arsenal crank. It's an SLR 106 UR, so it's a 8.3-inch 5.56 crank SBR, and I did this video basically, like me being silly, like talking about how it's like, the AKS 74U is like a snake eater submachine gun that like used by dirtbags all over the world. And, I have like all these little like things popping up like emojis and shit like that, like through the thing. And I was like, man, this is just so stupid. And one day I had saved it, I didn't publish it. And I went back and I wanted to post another short, and it said, delete or post, and I was like, whatever, just post it. And within like the first hour, it's like like 1,200 views. I'm like, what? Like, this
Darn.
is crazy. So you never
People like
know.
this?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this video we're about to watch, like I bet like it would be one of those winners. I'm just gonna guess. I haven't seen it, but here we go. So this is the what are you calling it?
I'm not 100% sure what to call it yet. The working title, like in my CAD program, is the triangle because an
Okay.
earlier version looked like a triangle.
Okay.
We'll talk about the name a little more after.
Yeah, and I would love, because you had said that you also hadn't necessarily named the type of blowback. I think we should take a vote and have the
Yeah.
viewers like name
Put
it.
your thoughts in the chat.
Yeah, like penile blowback system.
It uses skateboard bearings and will it focus? Skateboard bearings and Ender 3 springs.
Oh, dude, that is absolutely Tony Hawk. Just kidding.
Tony Hawk Pro Shooter.
Yeah.
Dude, that video game was so fun.
Oh man, do you remember that song? That
sounds really familiar.
Yeah, I'm doing such a good job of the
It
rendition.
was beautiful. It was
Thank
better.
you. All right, let's go ahead and press play on this bad boy. I will have to mute so it doesn't sound like chat, but let's go ahead and get it started. Dang.
So it's showing like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, there's no audio in this video. It's showing like I was working on getting the ejector going, and my previous try didn't work. And so I just made a little change, and I found out that my bolt is too light. This is my version 2 gun we've been looking at today.
Okay.
My version 1, the bolt was too heavy. So my version 3 is kind of a happy medium. The bolt's too light. And so what happens, I don't know if you can even see that, the shell is actually bulged. Like the top here is like rounded. It shouldn't do that. That ain't right. Phallic blowback.
Here, sorry, bring that back up.
Yeah, and so it's kind of rounded there. Let me show it as compared to a regular one.
That's bad.
So it rounded the case head because the bolt's going back too fast. The bolt isn't resisting enough. So sometimes this part breaks off. It's been happening like 1 in 5. So I need my bolt heavier. And with regards to bolt weight, I want it heavy enough so birdshot barely cycles, because I'm hoping that buck and slugs won't destroy the gun. So I want it to be heavy enough to where, like, because this is what people are usually going to shoot, at least in the States here.
Yeah.
But I'd really like it if it could handle those loads that are way, way stronger.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like the difference between birdshot and slugs is like, you know, your steel case versus your like plus P, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
The range in shotguns is just so much bigger than in most guns.
Oh my God. And I think
that's been difficult.
Yeah, and that's where the versatility aspect comes in. I have a cartridge laying around I want to show you. I'd be more than willing to oh shit, sorry, I still got you on full screen. It's not a problem. You're a beautiful man, so they won't mind looking at you. These cartridges, I would be more than happy to donate one or a couple to see it. Well, actually, hold on. Is this 2 3/4 inch only?
You could put another one in. Shorter would still eject. Longer probably wouldn't eject.
So 3 inches.
Where the ejector hits it is after the bolt's gone back basically 3-ish inches.
Okay. Gotcha. So 3 inch.
So if it's longer, it might not eject, but it'll fire.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Hang tight. Let me grab this cartridge.
And while he's over there, the total bolt travel is it's like 160, 100.
Okay, while I bring this up, guys, I just want to let you know.
Did that thing again.
Oh, doing that.
Or my internet. Basically, as soon as it can, because you're shut. Stupid internet. Oh, hey, I'm back.
Oh, yay. Dude, by the way, your jacket in this shit is money. Or is that a shirt? Is that a shirt?
That's a flannel.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
The
Dude,
flannel I got at a thrift shop for like $2.
what?
Yeah.
Dude, that you couldn't buy the buttons for $2. That's awesome.
So pretty.
So, I do want to bring up a couple quick things. Even though it's not, today we're going to say that this stream is sponsored by JSD Supply. JSD Supply is the.
I buy a ton of their stuff.
Oh my God, me too. I just got another 26 kit and another 43 kit with the Revelation slides that are mounted. They have the RMR cut on it, and actually one of my carry guns uses a JSD Supply upper on a 19, and that thing runs like a champ. But JSD Supply is one of the largest suppliers of P80s in the United States. All of their shit is made in the United States, and it is in my opinion, best quality, hands down, for the best pricing that you can get. And their shit actually comes with sights. So you can, if you're building something, you can just literally take it right to the range and put it to use, do function testing without dumping another 50, 60, 80, $100 into sites or more. So guys, if you are going to use JSD Supply, make sure you support him, because St. Jordan Vinro is, number one, a remarkable person, but number two, there is a I am an affiliate of theirs, sorry, and I have an affiliate link, and also you can use code DARK to save money and get free shipping. So remember that. Now, I'm also an affiliate too of HCM holsters that have some of the best. Good to see you too, Barry. Look at you, baby. HCM holsters makes some of the best kydex out there. It is like stupid high quality, custom wrapped shit. It's incredible. So check out HCM holsters. I got their mug here, but it's just out of reach from my cord. HCM holsters, use code DARK. JSD, use code DARK. And also with Aegis, you can use code DARK and save 15% and all that jazz. So yeah, there we go. So I have something that that we could possibly donate to see if it lives.
See what happens when we put it in.
Yeah. This is a 15 pellet, 3-inch S&B, and the Cellular and Belo.
Or something like that.
So, yeah, S&B. Yeah, it's crazy. This has basically 15 32 caliber pellets, so it's kind of like dumping a CZ, like a old school Scorpion. It's basically like dumping half of a magazine of a Scorpion in one trigger pull. It's so sick. The dram on it, like the powder is above the dram max on it. Like it's crazy. Yeah, I would gladly donate some of those. I keep them in these Safariland. If you guys haven't seen these are Safariland shotgun shell holders. So like if you have some dead space on your belt and you're running a shotgun, you can literally just like throw it on there anywhere you want, and you can, at the ready, if you need to breech load your shotgun in like a millisecond, man, these things are money. One of our
like an M4, you can just do that and put the round in. I think you like rack it twice, and then if you put a round in, it'll leave the chamber open for you or something.
Yeah, yep. That's exactly right.
Grant's on top of that. I've never shot an M4. I'd love to though.
Dude, they're you can they call it ghost loading it. That was originally that was a design that I think it was John Moses Browning himself on the 1880. What's that shotgun? The 1889, 18, whatever it is, the lever action shotgun that John Moses Browning designed. He thank you, Burry. Thanks, Burry. It was a ghost load, essentially, where basically you could fill the tube with 8 shotgun shell rounds, 8 shotgun shells, and then you can put one in the chamber, and then you can top it off. So let's say you have 8 in the tube and 1 in the chamber. You can open the action without without ejecting the round that's in the chamber, and without engaging the whatchamacallit, the tube feed, the breech gate, whatever the fuck. You guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can open it just enough to drop in number 10. So 8 plus 1 plus 1. So it's kind of like having a plus 2. Pretty gangster.
It's crazy how many things John Moses Browning made. Like, wasn't he like in the 1800s or like maybe early 1900s? We're still using his guns.
Oh my god,
Like,
yeah. I mean,
the Browning high power, wasn't that him?
yep.
Like the whatever. So 50 BMG. BMG stands for Browning Machine Gun.
Yep.
Like, that dude is the most prolific firearms designer ever, and probably will be ever. Like,
yeah, forever. And if you think about it, like 1871, the Ghost Load. Thank you, Farmer James. Appreciate you. 1887. Yes, 1887. You're right. You could put any date, and I would say yes. Good job, guys.
yeah.
1887.
I'm glad I got the century correct.
Yes, the Century. And speaking of which, Century Arms actually did a reproduction of the 1887 shotgun, which is most notable the Terminator shotgun in Terminator 2 Judgment Day when he's on the Harley, where he's spinning that bad boy on his hands. But what I was going to say is that, we look at all these designs and, we're, let's use the 1911 as an example. Another design that's been with us for, design that's been with us for well over 100 years. And, a lot of people say like, 2 world wars and all this stuff. And, I mean, yes, that's true, but a lot of changes have, been added. A lot of changes have been made to the 1911. Just very small things like the lowered and flared ejection port, magazines with increased reliability, moving the extractor to the interior of the slide, like these very small changes. But the Browning M2 machine gun, the Modus, is exactly the same.
Wow.
0 changes. Like nothing has been changed. Very little has been changed on
Yeah.
it. We're talking, oh god, it's remarkable.
Dude. Yeah, the Modus. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, can you think of a better full auto 50 BMG? I don't think there is one. Like,
Nope.
That's the Modus M2. That's where it's at.
That's the Medusa.
Speaking of 50 BMG projects, I actually have another 50 BMG project I'm working on.
No.
So
A 3D printed single shot 50 BMG Derringer?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I've mentioned it somewhere.
No. Are you joking?
No. Let me show you the bolt.
Oh my god, I literally was trolling. I was joking.
So it's an open bolt, single shot, so it's still legal. So BMG stands for Browning Machine Gun, and I was just like, man, it's so dumb that I have this in like a single shot. And I was like, let's make it in an open bolt. It's still single shot.
Yeah.
But let me show you the bolt. I have it sitting back there.
Dude, I was totally joking. Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god.
So that bolt's like 40 pounds.
What?
And the gun itself is going to be about 10 feet long, just because it is what it is. It's going to be a meme gun entirely.
What? Bro.
The barrel is the only part that's a firearm part. Absolutely nothing else. Just the barrel.
Holy shit. Well, first I gotta express how like ridiculously surprised I am that I was actually right.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, have I told him that?
Yeah, like that's kind of scary.
Dude, psychic.
Yeah, that's kind of terrifying. Maybe our pelvic bones are like connected in some kind of way, you know.
I like to think so.
Yeah. But that's crazy, like an open bolt. So now is that affecting accuracy in a dramatic
Um,
way, or
it's probably not going to be accurate. So I actually would have had it had a firing prototype by now, but the
Mhm.
company that sent me the barrel forgot to chamber it, so I had to send it back, and they're chambering it. Um,
Gotcha.
it's not going to be very accurate, honestly. So basically, the way it's going to work, that bolt, the monster thing you just saw, is going to be held back, and there's 5 AR-15 or AR-10. I'm not 100% sure springs that will push it forwards. And if you've seen like a Serbu GB22, where you just drop the bolt and that's what sets it off. Um, so
I'm
the
not
bolts,
familiar.
so open bolt firearms, there's a
Mhm.
lot of ways it can be done, but one of the simplest ways, like a Sten,
Yeah.
the bolt is all the way back. And when you pull the trigger, you're just getting the trigger out of the way.
Yeah.
And so the bolt builds up speed until it hits it. And
And I'm
that
sorry,
actually,
I didn't I misspoke. So I am familiar with open bolt. I'm not familiar with the GB22.
GB22.
Yeah.
So once the bolt hits the round, sets the round off and it goes back. But what's super special about that is it lets you have your bolt weigh half as much as it otherwise would have to weigh, because recoil and the bolt motion is all about momentum. And so if
Yeah.
the bolt already has a lot of momentum going forwards, the shell, as it's pushing back, has to overcome that momentum before it can even start to do anything. And then it has to go like a normal blowback would. And
Gotcha.
so instead of having to have my bolt be like, I think it's like 58 pounds or something ridiculous like that,
Yeah.
my bolt only has to be half that weight. I'm doing it over half that weight. I'm going to fire it with a string from like really far away.
Oh, hell yes.
50 is terrifying,
I
but
volunteer to
it
test
should
fire.
work from your pubic bone. If you
Yeah.
do it from the pubic bone, you're in.
Yeah, it's very specific. Only
I have
accepting
one rule.
applications. Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. Dude, that's crazy. So it's actually going to be 10 feet.
Yeah. So the plastic portion, and you print it in like a bunch of different sections, I think is like 6 feet. I can actually pull it up on my computer and double check right now. But and then the barrel is, I think it was 32 inches, something like that.
Damn.
Or maybe it was 38. But yeah, the whole thing in total came out to almost 10 feet. It was insane. I'm like modeling it because I got stuck at an airport. I
Mhm.
paid more for like a faster flight instead of a flight that would have had a like 2 hour longer layover, and then
Yeah,
it got canceled. So I had like a 12-hour layover, and I was like, man, I really screwed myself with that.
dude.
And so
But
I designed this bad boy.
during a layover, you designed.
Uh, Not all of it, but like I got most of the way there.
Yeah,
And then I'll print like little slices of it to be like, okay, does this need to be bigger, smaller?
yeah.
Making my sizes just right.
Dude, that's incredible, man. That's it's kind of creepy that I knew, and I can't get over that
Yeah, that was
personally.
cool. When you said that, I was like, what?
He's
What?
spying
Who
on
told him?
me.
How does he
Yeah,
know?
that's crazy. That's some innovative shit though. And when it fires, and it's essentially slam firing it,
Mhm.
um, is it left cocked again back in the open bolt position?
So I'm trying to make so the trigger has like a hinge type thing where so you
Okay.
pull the trigger and it gets out of the way. I'm trying. I don't know if I'll. Hopefully the trigger will be such that your finger comes off of it as you pull down and it slips, and so the bolt it'll be pressing against the bottom of the bolt, and so when the bolt goes all the way back, it should be cocked. That is the goal.
Gotcha. Okay. Because
So then you would just take your shell out, put a new one in, drop
yeah,
it, because racking that's not going to be super fun.
yeah, that would be challenging because there's kind of two things I was thinking of with this is if you do need to open it back up to feed a new one in, um, or if there was a way for an individual. And guys, just so you know, the JSD link was just dropped by some guy named Dark. I don't
Use
know.
code DARK.
Yeah. And by the way,
And on
JSD
Brownells.
So I
No?
did misspeak. There's not a code dark on Brownells. I'm so sorry. But in everything else I mentioned, there is a code dark. When I bunched everything together, you know me, just making mistakes. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, so if it slam fired the round, and then it went boom, and then the recoil sent it back, but it didn't catch it open, and it rested
It's going
in
to
the
go and
closed
hit
position.
again, yeah.
It's going to cause definitely a lot of what do you call them? Stress, whatever. But
Wear and tear.
wear and tear. But if there was a way to say, with everything that everyone can do with CAD and things like that, if there was a way to say create some type of box magazine fed version of this, then it could actually become a real machine gun,
Yeah.
Which of course you should only, do if you're like
Let the SOTs do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't do illegal stuff, guys.
Yeah.
This isn't the reason for all this.
It's not out of respect for the law. It's out of respect for the existence of jail.
Yes.
That place is real. You don't want to be there.
Yeah. The only thing that keeps good men from breaking those laws are fear of incarceration, which funny enough, you would be incarcerated by men with guns for doing gun stuff, and
probably with third holes on those guns.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, most likely with third holes. Those are. But yeah, I mean that dude, the freaking world is your oyster with CAD and 3D, and now Gerchop. I dare you to say that 3D printing is going to be obsolete because it just just doesn't matter. You truly can only boost the signal from here. What's up, Tech Money? Sorry. So what's what else is next for you aside from 10-foot long 50 BMGs?
Let's see.
Barrett size BMGs.
Getting the 12 gauge functioning feeding is like the next step. Once it does that, I'll be doing a beta test on it. Probably I've talked with Ivan a little bit at Deterrence. I always get these names mixed up because I want to say Defense Distributed. Deterrence Dispensed. They're so close. Dispensed. And we'll be doing a beta over there. So that's one thing. Beta is currently ongoing for the Mammoth gun, which is the 50 BMG bolt action.
Nice.
Then I'll be doing this open bolt 50 BMG. I have a AR-15 lower receiver, which I'm not ready to show too much or do anything with it, but I think it's going to be a big deal.
Nice.
Like it has some features that there aren't any AR lowers on the market that have this feature that this one has. Like if you buy a metal machined AR-15 lower, this one has something special that none of those have.
What? Okay.
And I'm like, and I mean, maybe there's a reason no one else has done it. Maybe it's not a good idea, but it's like in my limited testing, it seems like a really good idea. We'll talk more about that another time. But what else is there? I have another like recoil mitigation device for AR platforms.
Nice.
That I think might be cool. It's a maybe. It basically just instead of an AR-15 buffer, take an AR-10 buffer, which is a little shorter.
No.
And it holds a couple springs in the back.
Here, go back
just like
a little
that
bit.
last little.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost you for a second. So you take an AR-10 buffer.
Yeah, so put an AR-10 buffer in your AR, which is generally a bad idea. Don't do it. And then you'd have this little printed disc that holds a couple springs, so that when your buffer is going back, it just gives it another little. It makes so that last 1 inch basically is more of like a rubbery stop than a thunk stop. And I haven't actually test fired that prototype yet, so it might not work. It might suck. but that's something I'm going to be playing with.
That's cool.
And I'm in a few other people's betas for their designs.
Yeah.
That I'll be toying with.
Yeah, hell yeah. And yet for the folks talking about like, 3D printing until they ban it, like how many things are
Can they?
banned or yeah, I mean there's really no way they can like, realize that these printers are something that like these are built, right? Now some of them, yes, they're purchased, right? And even when you purchase them, you still have to assemble them. These are things that uh, you can't take knowledge, information, skills, and abilities. That's something that will never be taken from you, ever. And yeah, this is something that they truly cannot stop. Period. It,
Mm-hmm.
now, this we didn't actually touch on it that much, and I apologize about that. This lower that you've designed, walk us through that because you've essentially taken single shot, or there's some like box fed versions with this noxious like 1.5 foot long magazine coming out
Off
the
the
left
side.
side. Yeah, it's crazy. But like there are some companies that are making the 50 BMG uppers that go on um, AR-15 lowers. And like for an example, Safety Harbor Firearms makes one. I think we lost him. Safety Harbor Firearms makes one that goes on an AR-15 lower. Yep.
I could still hear everything, but my video cut out.
Okay.
I don't know why. Hey,
It's
I'm back.
it's so crazy because the
Yeah.
second you came on data, it like fast forwarded you and it was like bloop, you were back. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I heard everything you were saying.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So basically I looked at where the stress is on the lower. So for your typical AR-15 lower, you see the printed ones, we tend to bulk up the buffer tube connection. It's like right behind the grip where it goes up for the buffer tube. That's kind of the weak point usually.
Mm-hmm.
For this, that plays no role at all. It's just those two takedown pins is where all of the energy is transferred. And so I use these like Harbor Freight 2-inch pins in all my builds. They're cheap, easy to get, and they work great. And so I made the lower as wide as you possibly can while using those 2-inch pins. And then it was just going to look really dumb if it was just this thick brick. So I was like, let's put an A2 stock on it. And that will also let me put a monopod, which 50 BMG is typically like long range shooting.
For sure.
And so having a monopod to get like just the right accuracy is super nice. It's got a little like cartridge inside where you can put Skittles. And you know Dugan, obviously.
Yeah.
In one of his Carnicon videos, there's this Magpul grip that the guy like stores Skittles in and puts in his mouth. Yeah.
Skittles
like,
break.
That became a meme. I saw that meme and I was like, I want to do that. And where you could put Skittles was because of Duke and Carnicon.
That's
So
awesome, dude.
that was the inspiration.
I'm actually gonna take some of these pictures that you sent me and pull them up because that I think would give a really good idea. I should have done this earlier. My life turned into a nightmare this evening with my with my 5-year-old, and my 30-something-year-old wife too. Shh, don't tell her.
I won't.
I've learned that she is a dedicated subscriber that hates everything about my channel. Wookie, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Yeah, it's funny. She'll be like, "So you went live to?" Da-da-da-da. I'm like, "Yeah, the ATF news broke. I had to tell the people." Okay,
share it.
yeah. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't busy. I wasn't taking care of our daughter while you were talking about ATFs. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, so I'm gonna send these to. This will give everyone a good visual, and I'll let you guys to. Wow. What are we gonna do if Ukraine pops off?
Bro, bro. I hope we're not going to war.
Yeah.
But honestly, there's no great option. Lots of people are going to die,
Yep. And
and that
there,
sucks.
over a year ago, we were sitting here saying, um, you know, gosh, that was December of 19 and January of 20. We said there's going to be an event. This was me, Dugan, Light, all of us. Actually, it was probably January, February of 20. We said there's likely going to be a false flag event, and it will be set up to, by design, be set up to where the goal is to eliminate as many military-aged males in America as possible. Whether it's something happens and they leak information and all these troops are wiped out, or like whatever the hell happens, like this, I feel like this is kind of like by design. I don't know. I'm I don't really want to go like too far down the conspiratorial hole, but I'll tell you guys that I just don't trust any of this shit. It's just seeming
It's
to
only
be
a
set up.
conspiracy until we find out it's true. And usually that
Right.
happens a good while later.
That's
But
right.
not all conspiracies are wrong. A lot of them are right.
Yeah. There is definitely truth in a lot of conspiracies, and yeah, you never know. So while I pull this up, guys, I will allow you to enjoy the soothing sounds of pubic bones.
Remember, kids, the first rule of gun safety is to always have fun.
That's awesome. Okay, so who's homie that taps your ears?
Yeah. So that's my friend Grant. And I actually forgot he was coming into town that day. We talked about it weeks earlier, but I'm forgetful about everything. And I was like, bro, do you want to come shoot this shotgun? And I told him, I was like, also, I have this idea for this like super silly like video clip. And
Yeah.
it could be even better if you held me.
Oh, dude,
And he was
that
very
was
down.
an excellent idea. Beautiful execution. I can't say enough. It's the way that you took like the because PSR published a video on
On
editing
how
and
to do that.
Yep, and I definitely admire that a great deal. A lot of them are wrong too, bro. Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Definitely.
Conspiracies. Yeah, I just think that
Probably
like
most, honestly.
yeah,
But not all of them.
yeah, and I think Thirsty Cult says feed pics. Um, I think that something we have to remember is that, so many of these conspiracy theories or alternative thoughts, I like to call them, alternative, what was it? I had a really cool term. Oh, well, it's not here anymore. Um, the thing that I really want to push is not to fall in line with other people's conspiracy theories. It's I want to provoke thought in others to where we are stuck in this world where we are accepting information from mainstream media, from alt media, from people like from, guys and gals that we see on YouTube, yelling at computers saying like, do this. And then they're kind of, a lot of them we talked about last stream, they're selling fear. And then they're saying, you need to, be able to purify water. So use my affiliate link. And to make sure that you go to I sell it at my website. It's like, dude, we're going to be invaded tomorrow. So make sure that you have an iPhone stand for the Boog.
With my logo.
Yeah, right. Like, come on, man. So I really hate the whole like selling fear thing. I think blackpilling people and then basically manipulating them to purchase your shit is wrong. I don't like
AKA
that.
mainstream media.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just them, obviously, but
Yeah, for sure.
them as well.
It definitely trickles into what's up, One Car Fest. Definitely trickles into the alt media sphere, and we're in this place where all I want to say, and Alex was actually right about the frogs. There's a study that a college did on that, which is terrifying. But the thing I want to provoke is thought, critical thought, and to say, I received this information. So now what I'm going to do is search information of the contrary with an open heart and an open mind. And then I'm going to collect as much data as possible and then come to my own conclusion based off of my own brain, working and stuff. So, yeah, don't just listen to me or others and say like, that is gospel. Like we need to be as
we need to be critical thinkers.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, so walk me through what we got right here.
So this is the V3 prototype, which the green one you guys have seen in the pubic bone video. This is basically, it's that, but I scaled it up a little bit because my bolt was too light. But one of the things you're seeing in the screen here, for me, it's on the left side, the side with those rollers. That's the delay. Like that's where it's happening. And so one thing I didn't mention before is that, so this is a delay, but it doesn't have to be just a delay. It could actually be more. So delays impede the initial opening of the bolt, that initial like half inch, and like a recoil mitigation device or system, something is gonna, soften that last bit or make more even the recoil. And so those divots I have cut into the bolt, if you were to flatten those out a little bit, make them more gradual, that would change how the recoil went. Yeah. Or if on the bolt carrier there, if instead of having it come to a butt and meet with the bolt, if you put a ramp there so that the bearings, when they get to that point, would kind of ramp up it and provide even more force, that would actually give you a recoil mitigation from the same exact rollers. And so you could get recoil mitigation.
That's good. That's good. That may be
PLA. He's an OG.
Yeah, man. He's definitely straight up OG. That may be the winning comment for that, y'all.
So far.
Mid-dick.
I actually just now realized I can see the comments in here because I was on like I had clicked on the wrong thing.
Oh, the private chat one.
Yeah, that's why I clicked on. But yeah, so you could actually have complete control over the recoil. And so that's something I haven't played with yet, but I plan on playing with. There's what's the name of it? Oh man, what? The King Cobra. So it uses magnets for recoil mitigation at the very end of the cycle. I think they call it like deleted recoil or deleted blowback, something like that.
Really?
And I was just thinking, like, you could do that with this if you just had like a printed portion of your bolt, have a ramp on it so that when the bearings get to it, it pushes them out, provides more resistance.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and as far as I know, this is a novel delay mechanism. It's like there's like roller delay, lever delay, toggle delay. There's probably other ones. There's like this chamber ring delay. There's a few different methods of delaying. Mm-hmm. I've never seen one that looks like this.
I concur.
And anyone who wants to do it in their design, go for it. I would love to see other people do that. I'm planning on modifying the FGC 9 to use this delay.
What?
I'll just make a different upper. All the other parts will be the same. I'll make a different upper that just uses this delay. I will have to change the recoil spring a little bit. Does that CAD offer? It does, but I'm not very good at it. Mechanical action. So it's Fusion 360. You can do those things, and I'm not good at them.
Dude, so this is Fusion 360?
Yep.
Okay. Bro, I think you said it's novel.
Yeah, like a new.
Oh, new. Oh, I was like novel. What?
It's a type of delay that I haven't seen someone else do.
I was thinking like
so it could be patented. I don't plan on that, but
novel COVID-19, or you guys could pick your favorite novel. like the Outsiders or the Odyssey blowback. But I just, Stay Golden Pony Boy comes to mind. So maybe, the Outsiders or Pony Boy blowback delay
Ooh.
system. Or what was his name? Johnny.
Return of the King, Return of the Bolt.
Return of the Bolt. Compound Light. Yeah, if you guys want to all throw down with Compound, we could do that. Just know that
That'd be cool.
that's happened before. I can't think of any situation where that's gone wrong. Like nothing where a compound of people that
No
just
Kool-Aid.
wanted to believe in something and protect themselves with firearms and, build something bigger than themselves that would outlive all of them, that thought that they would just all come together, and that's never gone wrong.
Especially not in Texas.
Yeah, no, you got to go way far, like way go back far, Note taken.
Yeah, Farmer James.
He's the shit, man. Farmer James is awesome.
I saw him in Chairman Juan's stream yesterday, maybe.
Yeah, we were there together too. Yeah, dude. P.D. Ralph, Chairman Juan, like.
I love those roasts.
Yeah, man. I found out Dark's real name, dude. A bunch of people know my name.
It's Darkalicious.
It
He
is.
shortened it to Dark.
It's Dark. I like to just kind of, it rolls off the tongue if you say Darklicious.
Darkalicious.
Yeah, but that's like when I use it in songs and stuff.
Rolls off the tongue, also rolls on the tongue.
Yeah, I actually told someone my real name just the other day. There's about 3, 4, maybe 5 people that know my real name, like that I have confirmed it with. The people that go on like Google and like start like searching and like doing like
The people who know where you sleep, those people.
Damn, yeah, there you go, Dave. Yep, there you go. Thank you. God damn, bro, really? Come on, y'all. Dang.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, well, nice to meet you guys. I'm Dave, and yeah, it was great.
A handful of people in the chat know my full name.
Yeah,
and my social security number, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a few that you that you trust.
Your people.
Yeah, right. I go by Dark Dave. Yeah, that I don't know. It sounds racist. So here's a.
Got to be careful about that nowadays.
Yeah, right. I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, so those springs there are what's pushing the bearings in. And so if you use weaker springs, you have less delay, stronger springs, more delay. Or if you just modify the dimensions of your printed parts so the springs are more compressed, that obviously makes them stronger. How deep those divots are, you really have like complete control over how strong or weak this delay is. So if you wanted, and I've actually talked to somebody about doing this, you can make a delayed blowback 22 and it would work. You'd probably want a bolt that weighs, I don't know, about as much as like a nickel, but you could do it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, dude, that would be awesome. So doing this on like a 9mm, like what would the benefit be from taking this from, standard blowback, like with an ejector, which is pretty,
which is fine. I mean, there's a lot of them out there because it works.
Is it just some is it reliability? Is it less beating up the
it probably won't benefit reliability. Simple blowback is about as reliable as it gets. It will benefit recoil. So like if you've shot an AR9 any straight blowback 9mm platform, it's kind of snappy. It's not that bad, but it's kind of snappy. And then if you shoot a MP5, which most of us haven't, everyone know, even though most of us haven't shot it, we know that MP5s have less recoil.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same cartridge. And the way recoil works, at least in my mind, I might be wrong about this. I think of it as a conservation of momentum. So like in the laws of physics, however much momentum, which is like mass and speed, so like how heavy something is, how fast it's going, however much momentum is going in one direction, the exact same amount of momentum by definition goes in the opposite direction. So like when you fire a gun, the bullet and all the hot gases are moving forwards. The gun and by extension you have to go back the same amount of momentum. And so it's not that the amount of recoil is different. It's that how the recoil is spread out is different. It's like if you can make the recoil super even to where it's the same amount of push the whole way, it'll just feel like someone's pushing you. But if instead you have the opposite where, like, take a bolt action firearm, all of the recoil happens immediately. It's not spread out over a period of time.
Yeah.
And what a delayed blowback will let you do is it kind of front loads a little bit of that recoil so that when the bolt does hit the back, it doesn't have as much energy.
Yeah.
And so the total amount of push is the same. Like by definition, you can't change that. But what you feel and what you perceive is different. It's like when I shoot the 12 gauge from my pubic bone, it literally feels like it feels similar to an AR-15. More of a push, but like the snappiness is about like an AR-15, which is, this tiny of a cartridge.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts, and I could see that. It's it's like the actual system is receiving the majority of the recoil, as opposed to your shoulder, arm, body, whatever, receiving the majority of the recoil, and it's kind of spreading it out over a longer period of time. Although it may be, like you said, milliseconds, and kind of spreading it out to a wider area.
It's like
it happened again. He was going to say something prophetic too. He's like, it's like, and then it stopped. Yep, there we go.
Sorry.
There you go. It stopped right at, it's like.
Yeah, so it's like if I were to push you like with my hand, and I push you over a period of like 1 or 2 seconds, I'll impart some amount of momentum into you. If I were to give you that same amount of momentum, just like real quick with like my fist, it would hurt a lot. Even though it's the same amount of like recoil momentum, if you do it over a short period of time, it's no good. If you do it over a long period of time, it's not a big deal at all. And so if you can make the amount of time longer, that'll reduce felt recoil. And that's why I have the bolt travel. It travels 160, 165 millimeters, whereas an AR-15 travels just under 100 millimeters. So it's like 60% more travel length. That reduces recoil because the amount of time that the push is happening, it's the same amount of push, but it happens over a longer amount of time, so it's not as bad. And also having it be more even, like if you could have it perfectly even, that would be the best case scenario. You're not going to be able to, but if you could. Whereas normally the recoil mostly happens when your bolt bottoms out. It's somewhat happening as the bolt's going back because it pushes on the spring, which pushes on your shoulder. But the more even you can make that recoil, the less the peak is going to be. So whatever the peak is what you recognize as recoil. So like when your AR-15, when the bolt hits the back, that's what you recognize as the recoil. And so reducing whatever that peak is to make it more even, and also increasing the time, is going to make recoil better. And so the delay helps to put a little more of the recoil at the very beginning, not enough to be an issue, but puts a little more at the very beginning, so there's less at the end. A hydraulic buffer, for example, has like a little bit of cushion at the end. A little bit of cushion for the pushing on your shoulder. A hydraulic buffer has a little bit of cushion. And so it's just taking that peak of force when it hits at the end and spreading it out over, a fraction of a millisecond, or maybe a millisecond here. I don't actually know. Some longer amount of time. So instead of a peak of force, it's a bump of force, and it feels like less recoil. It's not, but it feels like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's the whole perceived recoil thing, you know. Yeah. That's crazy, man. And I'm sorry, I know we keep toggling back and forth between the 50 and then the 12 gauge. It's just I find both so fascinating, And it's funny because as we're talking about the 50, I'm like, oh, here are pictures of the 12 gauge. Sorry about that.
No, we good.
um,
That's how my brain works too.
yeah, no, it's the whole squirrel complex. Um, so you would going back to the 50. I had kind of interrupted you with these pictures, but you were talking about how you built it with essentially an A2 stock with the monopod that you. Oh, hold on. This is weird. It looks like we're getting some type of interference.
Jeff Cron.
There.
Whoa.
Oh, what did I miss?
Oh, he just said something kind of funny.
Oh, you're doing it wrong. That's funny. Yeah, we're getting some type of interference here. Hold
Is it
on.
like an audio thing?
It looks like some type of audio.
Remember, kids, the first rule of gun safety.
Let me.
No, it was. I'm
is
just
to
playing the
always have
video.
fun.
I just wanted to be silly and play the video.
Nice.
Yeah, so the 50, you got an A2 stock monopod, and you kind of reinforce it. So you said typically, there are a couple areas that are like
Danger
more,
zone.
Yeah. So what are those areas?
Buffer tube is typically what's going to break on your printed AR. There are a couple other areas that break for other reasons, but as far as recoil, the buffer tube is really where that happens, because it's when the bolt bottoms out and you get kind of that torque on where the buffer tube is connected to the lower. But with the bolt action, there is no bolt going back. There is no reciprocating anything.
Yeah.
And so all of the force is at those two takedown pins. So I made those as wide as I could, while still using the takedown pins I like. And then most of the rest was just kind of aesthetic, make it match. I decided to use an integrated grip, mostly because I thought it looked cooler.
Yeah.
I might release another version that has just like the AR-15 cut, so you can put your own grip on. It's going to look ugly though.
That's only part of, as Grantham says, it's only part of it. Looking cool is just
looking cool is most important.
Yeah, I guess that's true. What's up, Agorizer? Welcome. And you get really quickly, Gerchop. It's not like that, man. It's just that your predictability has been a little, well, you're too unpredictable. I love you though. I care about you. Sorry, moving along. Yeah, continue, please. Sorry.
What was I?
You had said the takedown pins and
So I beefed up the takedown pins,
mm-hmm.
And then the stock is printed with the layer lines. So like, let's say this is the stock. This is a mag for the new 12 gauge, by the way. But the layer lines go like this, and so when the gun recoils, the layers are in compression. It's like they're fine. And so you really don't need to worry about the force there. I did have my first prototype break, but it wasn't because of the recoil. It was because, so I fired it with a string. The gun went up and then it went down. And when it fell back down, it split on the layer lines. So I did add a threaded rod inside. So those layers are always in compression. So if you do drop it, which you shouldn't drop a 50-pound gun, or it doesn't weigh 50 pounds, probably is like 30 maybe. It's heavy. But if you do drop it, it should be okay from like reasonable heights.
Yeah.
And then basically the buffer tube in there is just for the bolt to go back when you rack it. And it does have one thing a lot of people have asked is, could I use this lower on like a semi-automatic upper, like 50 Beowulf or one of those high, you know,
Mhm.
you can't. And the reason, there's a couple of reasons, but the biggest reason is that I made the top a little bit taller to match the Ligamec 50 upper.
Yeah.
And if you put a regular upper on it, your charging handle won't be able to go back. It'll get stuck.
Gotcha.
The other thing is there's no magwell. I was like, it'll look cooler without one because there's no magazine.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Um,
Could-
I
could
was
you see
looking
your-
into like, I wonder if I could like mill out part of this and make a magazine stuck on the side so you could have it semi. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Just looking at the design of it.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I was going to ask, or something along the lines of, do you see yourself in the future possibly designing a multi-cal version that could work on the 50 BMG that also could be thrown on other platforms? But you think probably not.
Well, so I do have a different lower in design.
Yeah, you mentioned
that will definitely work with like a 50 Beowulf upper or a 556 upper.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there'll always be separate designs.
Yeah.
I could modify the 50 with the stock and monopod design. The differences I would have to change would mostly be aesthetic. Like I could make one that would function with both.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to add a magwell, which you do want on one, you don't want on the other. And so I'm like, just have two designs.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I was just kind of curious.
Yeah.
Dude, that's incredible. What
Gravity fed mag, Savinity guitars. That'd be cool. The issue is you would need to cut out a portion of the metal on the upper to have a spot where it could go down. And that metal's pretty thick. And I don't think many people are going to want to mill out their like $1,700 upper. I might, but I don't think anyone else will.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty intense. Cutting through metal is, and there's a few guys here that do, what we call like real building. Most of what most builders
Machinists.
do is assembly. Yeah, these guys are building freaking Galils, Valmets, AKs, Stens, like, PPS station, like crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I got nothing but respect for that. Your guest from yesterday, Jesus.
Yeah,
who are you guys talking
CNT.
about?
CNT does metalwork stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Heath, welcome to Saturday. That was Thursday, but that's cool too. Last stream, we'll say last stream. Yeah. All right. If you guys start going crazy with this mod status, then I will go to 0 mods.
I am the Senate.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the prequels.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Hello there.
The fuck, what was the other question? I had a good question. It's about so you're not using a Safety Harbor Firearms SHTF 50.
Yeah. So that's one everybody's heard about, but for some reason the ATF decided to ram the power of the law up Safety Harbor Firearms' end. And so for whatever reason, those uppers you have to send to an FFL, which for like 99.99% of us is fine. It's just on principle I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like it's not a real impediment. Like I would show you, but this stream wouldn't allow us. I own serialized firearms.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, Ligamec. So the name is hilarious, but the company is called Ligamec. They make a gun called the Raptor 50. And you just buy the upper receiver. It's made to go on a mil-spec lower receiver or my lower receiver.
Hey.
And it ships straight to your door. Shipping takes forever. So that's annoying. And it was either 16, I think it was $1,650 is what I paid for it. So like, yeah, that's a lot of money, but it's 50 BMG. Like there's a floor you're not. No, 1,650.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say 650 is like
1,650. Yeah,
1650.
like
Yeah. That's
650 would
reasonable.
be amazing.
Yeah, I was like, holy
Um,
shit, I'm going to get one now.
the other 50 BMG design I'm doing, which is really a meme design, like it's the open bolt one, single
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
That one you're just gonna be paying for the barrel, which I think was like 450. So you could have a 50 BMG after you include filament for under $600.
That's crazy. Guys, the amount of money you would typically need to get into a 50 BMG is in the five figures. Like this is, well, typically, right? Obviously, there's the SHTF 50. There's the Ligamec, I guess it's called.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm hopefully remembering it correctly. And if you guys were to jump in, you can't get a $600 50 BMG. That's awesome. Wookie says, I'm assuming layer lines are like grain and aluminum and need to be oriented a certain way. Hold on.
More like grain and wood.
Wood. Okay.
So grain and aluminum matters. I don't know as much about aluminum. I've done a lot of woodworking though. Like
Gotcha.
all the furniture you can see and the furniture you can't see, other than the table right here, I made. Grain and wood matters because if you go, like, it's a lot stronger in one direction than the other. In 3D prints, that's true because it's the layers you printed in. In
Yeah.
injection molding, that's not an issue. And injection molding will always be stronger than the same thing 3D printed. But there are a lot of things you can't injection mold that you can 3D print, just like geometry and things. I found Darkstream. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Safety Harbor Firearms.
And it was $470. I probably shouldn't actually show that. My invoice was $470 for the barrel.
What?
So after filming, yeah, like $550. Lothar Walther is the company that makes them.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's like V Walther.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was thinking it was like an M2 barrel or something like that, but it's what kind of 50 barrel is it?
So it's a chambered barrel blank. So it's not made for any. It's like they sell it to companies to then, mill the exterior to make it whatever barrel it's supposed to be. So the Ligamec Raptor 50. Sorry, I get my left and right mixed up on this. The Ligamec Raptor 50. It uses their barrel comes from Lothar Walther. That's actually how I found them to buy this barrel. Yeah, I was just trying to find like what would be one that the most people would be able to get. Like I was initially looking at surplus barrels, but those run out. So I wanted something currently in production, even though that's generally more expensive.
Yeah.
Conflicting things, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool as shit.
So it's just a beefy cylinder. Like,
yeah.
Think of a heavy profile barrel, or like think of a barrel that's the same diameter all the way down.
Yeah.
It's so heavy.
Yeah, that's crazy. You said it's like 40 pounds?
Something like that. So I got it and I was so excited because I was like, I'm gonna put this together. And then I look at it, I'm like, this end's not chambered. Let's check the other end. And I was like, no, I can't chamber this. I need them. And like I had emailed with them before, like, guys, just making sure this is chambered, right? And they're like, yeah, bro, it's chambered. And I'm like, okay, send it to me.
It is.
And then when I got it, I was like, you.
You said, do I need to screenshot the email?
I know. I was like, are they going to send me an email that says psych?
Yeah, psych.
But they're fixing it. It's just going to take them some time. I shipped it to them. They'll ship it back.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool, man. Could you see yourself making one that's like stupid small?
It'd be an IED.
yeah, that'd be a little too risque. Dude, well that's incredible shit, man. That's I mean, single shot 50 BMG slam fire freaking craziness. Like that's
Yeah.
incredible. That's awesome. And all the, I mean, the design work that you've done for that lower that can withstand a fixed 50 BMG, like that's crazy. Number one. Number two, the 12 gauge triangle pony boy, I'll call it. Which if you dub it the pony boy, I'd be honored.
Oh, it'll be a Pony Boy featuring Dark.
Yeah, right.
On the name for it, so what kind of like inspired me to make it and the like design, like the philosophy behind it is like the FGC type thing.
Yeah.
So the guy who like owns FGC is now deceased, Jay Stark. It's made with the same ideas as what he made the FGC 9 with. And so my thought process is I'm going to work on this gun. If it ends up being awesome, like if it ends up being good enough that it would be like worthy of his legacy, then I'll talk to the people that, you know, he was friends with, you know, like Ivan and Control Q and those guys. Like I talked to Jay Stark a couple times, but I didn't know him at all.
Yeah.
I'll talk to them and be like, guys, do you think this could be the FGC 12? And if they're cool with it, I would love that. That would be like the best thing in the world, but only if it's an awesome gun, which it's not yet. It's not there yet. But if it ends up being like worthy of the legacy, that would be like a dream. If it ends up just being okay, like it's an okay gun, but it's not awesome, I'll give it some other name.
Yeah. Dude, that would be such an honor.
If it exactly, it would be like oh, dude, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I mean, honestly, if you can get it, you know, up and running like that, it's the same concept. It's the, you know, damn. I think
it follows his philosophy.
Yeah, and you know, I spoke
his
to
legacy.
some, I spoke to some folks that you know, got to know him pretty well, and there's some things that are, you know, surrounding his passing, we'll call it, that seems super suspect.
Convenient.
Yeah, right. Like we raided his home, and unfortunately, he died of a heart attack during that time.
He just showed up dead.
This perfectly, you know, well, we don't know if he was perfectly healthy, right? But
yeah, I've heard he had, I don't know. I honestly don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
It's suspicious.
Yeah, definitely suspicious.
It could be just an innocent coincidence, but it's very suspicious.
Yes, for sure. But I reached out when he passed away. You know, a person came to mind. No, Anthony Smith. We're just kind of recounting the Jay Stark incident.
Yeah, he passed back in, I think it was October, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was hoping to show him the finished gun, and obviously that's not going to happen.
Oh man, that would have been incredible.
Yeah.
I reached out to somebody and I was like, hey man, I know that, you know, you worked with him, and, you know, I just wanted to, you know, when I saw the news, I thought of you, and I just wanted to express condolences. And he was like, why? I was like, Jesus. I was like, I mean, you know, because he passed away, I just, you know, figured you guys were close. He was like, man, it's like, as sad as it sounds, and thank you for calling and whatnot. Sad as it sounds, that's how he wanted to go. He wanted to die for the cause. He wanted to send that ripple, you know, that wave through, you know, the whole community, all communities, and you know, it was heard loud and clear. And
definitely,
if your masterpiece could be honored with that name, FGC 12, it
would be a huge honor.
Yeah, that would be remarkable.
It would be amazing.
I hope it is. But yeah, good night, Sport Brain. Yeah, so we're hitting the 2-hour mark, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. And remind everybody who you are, where they can find you, and if you want to, throw out a channel, like another person's channel, to give somebody else some love, give some dad advice, whatever.
Oh man. So my channel, if you just type 3D Arms into either YouTube or Instagram, those are the two places I'm active on. You can catch me on like the Are We Cool Yet chat or Deterrence Suspense chat. I think my username's like individual something on one of them and 3D Arms on the other because they let me change it. Let's see. Also, you guys should go to I Print Shit, their Instagram. He's doing beta testing for the Mammoth.
Nice.
Let's do some dad advice, some Grand Thumb style dad advice.
Hell yeah.
I would say decide what things you believe are right and wrong and stick to those things. Like don't compromise on those things. In life, there's a lot of times where we have to do like, I don't want to do this. I don't think, but pick the things that you believe are right and wrong and do everything you can to not compromise there. Because every time you do, it makes you less of what you should be. And so I think that's important. Obviously, everyone has in the past and will in the future make mistakes and compromise on what they believe is right and wrong. But as a goal, try to know what matters to you and stick to it. Be firm on the things that matter. So I think that's some good like life advice.
Yeah, man, that's deep. That's selecting your standards, your morals, what you're willing to compromise on. That's truly like defining of who you are. Well, and I won't even say who you are. I'll say who you were choosing to be.
Yeah.
Right? Because that is a very, purposeful decision. And I think a lot of times we kind of write off those decisions, right? And it is a choice. We can all choose to be pieces of shit. We can all choose to be lazy. And when we go back and we read through the Constitution, and we read, the Federalist Papers and all this, like every time they reference people as good moral people of integrity and discipline and prudence, and a lot of that is gone. So I think that's excellent advice because it gives people kind of the reminder to choose who you want to be and be that individual, and that's awesome.
Thank you, my man. Dude, it's been great. I've loved chatting with you. It's been a good time. I've liked it.
Yeah, it's been fun, man.
I mean, hey, we'll do it again sometime once there's like things to like release and like more stuff to talk about.
Dude,
I'm sure I'll see you around.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely be around. We kind of float in the same communities, and I can't wait to see you release all over the place from your pelvic bone. Sorry, I'm disgusting. You guys know,
I love it.
You guys know obviously how I end every single stream, and I'll share with you again that rule number 1 is to be kind. And I think actually one day I may make like dark rules, which would be surprisingly light. So I don't know, but either way, rule number 1 is to be kind. Live a life of care, contribution, compassion. Be compassionate about others. We live in a world of division where we are just like programmed to hate others that believe different things, and it's so shallow and short-sighted, and we need to see everyone as our brothers and sisters and just be a compassionate person. And obviously, when we bless others, we get blessed, and just be good people. And we all know that the only way to stop evil is with good men skilled in violence. So become as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. So that's it. That's all I got. Thank you so much for Dark as Light. Who would have guessed it? Yeah. And just so you know, 3D Arms, he was dropping some knowledge. He was like, oh yeah, I know I watched videos with you and Light, Dugan, and that he knows. He's a professional DLDer. So and
been here for a while.
Yeah, sub.
Thank
to
you, my
3D
man.
Arms, and also make sure you go to.
There will be
3D
more
Arms.
videos.
Hell yeah, and make sure you go to 3D Arms Instagram and follow him and like at least 10 of his first 10 pictures, and go to iPrintShit as well and make sure you do the same. Show them some love, guys. Make sure their Instagrams are blowing up. I want the vibration of their devices to wake up their spouses. So, do that. Guys, thank you so much. Love all y'all. Be safe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.